Be advised, mature content ahead. This podcast is brought to you ad-free thanks to the Legion of Demons at patreon.com/NOTLP. If you like what you hear, there's much more at patreon.com/NOTLP. Join the Legion. That's patreon.com/NOTLP. And now the show.
How do you do? Just a word of friendly warning. I think it will thrill you. It may shock you. It might even horrify you. So if any of you feel that you do not care to subject your nerves to such a strain, now is your chance to, well, we've warned you.
We've been saxing off so hard, our hands are raw.
Man, this one really, I didn't think I was going to finish.
Oh, really?
I did finally.
You finished saxing off?
I finished saxing off, and but it was rough. It was a rough go there at the end.
I believe it. We did Death House or Zombie Death House, if you read the additional word that they added later to the title card.
Which, did you go looking for it and find the one that has all the horror icons in it that came out in like 2018?
No. Oh, no.
I looked up Death House, and there's one. It's got like Dee Wallace, Tony Todd, all of them. Sid Haig was in it before he died. Before he died.
A very special appearance.
Obviously. And others.
Is it also a prison movie?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I'm curious now.
But it's.
Did anybody have a very bad haircut that needs to be discussed?
I didn't watch it.
Oh, okay.
So that's our main attraction, Zombie Death House or Death House.
Directed by John Saxon.
Yeah.
Directed by John Saxon. Starring John Saxon.
Yep.
For bodyguards by bodyguards.
And it sounds like it was written by two, because there was a lot of just nonsense.
Well, here's the thing. He's not. There were 3 writers listed. He was none of them, but I bet he did get some final say. Sure. Yeah, he definitely had some.
Amy had some trivia about this.
Oh,
he wasn't really right.
I told you not to quote me on this. That I didn't really read the sentence fully.
Amy didn't finish the sentence, but I'm willing to say, based upon the vagary of what fell out of her mouth last night.
He was like, the director quit. They were like, hey, you want to do this? And he was like, all right.
He's like, I'm John Saxon. I can do anything.
And that was the last time he ever did it.
And to be fair to him, his parts were the best parts.
As an actor.
Well, he's the best part of all the movies we've seen.
Agreed.
That's why we put a month around this man.
Yeah.
Because he can carry some shit on his back.
Now, this movie was selected by Shayna Reed, patron and friend of the show. So if you want to
we put her in the hot sun with us on Saturday and then cooked her brain real good. And
then ate it.
And then ate her brain. But then we were like, hey, pick a movie, because the picker that I picked didn't get back to me with their pick.
So
Shayna got to pick.
If you find that email picker and you're like, oh, I missed doing this, just let us know. We'll figure it out.
I'll slot you in somewhere else.
Yeah.
Roulette this week, Kelley's reviewing a movie called Consecration.
I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I am reviewing a movie, and the root of the word is consecrate, but it's either shun or Ted. I'm pretty sure it's shun.
Yeah, it's shun.
Oh,
it's
good.
an IFC movie.
Yeah.
Is that right? Got a nun with her eyes rolled back in her head.
It's all nunny. Oh. It's too much nun.
Yeah. Nun.
It's nonsense.
If you're on Patreon, Origins is out. Kelley just introed the episode from 2011 sometime in the summer. Covered Rogue
the crocodile movie.
I remember really loving that movie a lot.
It's a fun movie.
Yeah, I love any movie where animals eat people usually.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, not like documentaries. Not like Grizzly Man. That just makes me sad.
Did you see that one?
I did. I even like those. I'll watch them.
Or you probably know about it, right? Because
I know about it.
Of pop culture.
Yeah. I think I might as well have watched. I should just watch it.
It's a good movie. It's a good documentary.
It's Werner Herzog, right?
It's crazy. Yeah.
I love him.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't want I just want us to leave the bears
upon
alone.
a time. So, well, that's what you'll get from this.
Yeah.
Leave all the animals alone.
Leave them
Just
all
leave
alone.
In its defense, you don't see it happening. You hear it.
Whoa!
But do you even hear it? Because doesn't it just
You
goes
don't
silent?
actually hear it.
I've seen that
You
part.
see his reaction.
You see his
Yeah.
reaction.
But-
is really gross.
It's kind of like on The
I
Office.
wish I had not listened to it
Oh dear God!
at all.
But I think you hear the lead up to it, right? Then it cuts
Yeah, you
off.
hear all kinds of stuff
Yeah.
for sure. It's disturbing, but it's a good documentary.
Because I recognize how sweet and cuddly bears look, and I know they are not.
Yeah.
It's like I especially just leave them alone.
Oh, because you were telling us about this video you saw on the Reddit, and then
the comments
the
bring
commenters
you down.
brought you down to earth.
Because it's like a funny little video where these people are sitting at a picnic table with a bear, and they're feeding it sandwiches.
Don't do that.
And I'm like,
It had a little
well,
hat
what a
on and a
cute
tie.
little bear. And how adorable. But I'm like, wow, it's crazy that that bear didn't eat them. And then the commenters were like, let me turn that smile upside down, and because they're gonna have to kill that bear now because it's too friendly,
it's a
and it'll
nuisance bear.
start like encroaching on humans, and it won't be afraid, and blah blah blah. And I'm
Yeah.
like, God damn
Don't
it.
they
feed the
have to kill-
bears.
can't
Don't
they,
feed gators. Don't feed any of that stuff.
Can't they
feed
rehome
wildlife.
it into like a sanctuary for domesticated bears?
Sandwich bears.
Sometimes
they can get it.
Yeah, there's probably programs like that, but
How
like
easy
you said,
is it
if you
to
have to
catch a
get
bear?
it. I don't know. I've never done it.
If anybody
Ask
listening
the predator.
that has ever caught a bear, tell me how easy that is.
As
Or not.
I see videos.
David
every-
Crockett did it
You know those
when he was only 3.
those drive-through safari things.
Yeah,
There's some bears there, and they wave at you. Do you ever see those videos?
they let
Yeah.
just
They
bears hang out.
And you toss food at them.
Yeah.
It just feels
They're real
bad.
fat.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel bad to anybody else.
What?
These places where these animals are held in captivity, and you know,
yeah.
a lot of the time some of these animals need this place because they're hurt and they need to be rehabbed or whatever. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the places that are like, hey, drive your car through here and throw pellets at this ostrich.
Yeah.
It just feels
Oh
exploitative.
yeah, I don't do that.
It feels wrong
Yeah.
on a lot of levels. A lot of things that we do feel wrong.
Yeah.
If I was going to make a reference no one was going to get, so you can just forget it.
Oh, you
hasn't-
can just forget
It's
it.
never stopped you before.
What's that?
From being weird.
Okay.
Just making references that nobody
I was just
gets.
thinking of, they say human nature is like what we're put on earth to overcome, right? This
Yeah.
idea that we are like somehow superior is because we refuse to be animals. So then we treat animals like property and all that shit.
Hey, Andy, are you glad that you made that happen?
You know
What's
what
that
I mean,
reference
dude?
from?
Well, originally it's the African Queen. It's what she says
okay.
to him when he's like, well, show me nature.
Well, if you did it in the Catherine Hepburn voice, we would have gotten
Then you would
it.
have known.
Yeah.
But then I was misquoting her too. I was using some of her quote, and then I was throwing a bunch of other hippie gobbledygook into it to make it sound more profound. Does that make sense?
A little bit of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
A little bit of that. I threw in some stuff I heard on Alf. There's all kinds of stuff in there.
It's just an amalgamation of everything that you've experienced during life.
Amalgamation?
Amalgamation. Amalgamation. Let's make America great again.
That's where we live.
Imagination.
Yeah.
Amalgamation.
I just try to see where I belong in the food chain. Am I supposed to be
Wow.
treating these animals as food or not? I don't know anymore. I keep eating them.
But don't eat bears.
I don't eat bears. I mean, it probably would.
But they're gaming.
They probably get you before you got them.
Yeah.
I don't mean I would like go hunt and kill a bear. But if I went to McDonald's, like we do bear now.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Because beef is not an option anymore because you guys have eaten all of the beef.
The McBear.
Yeah, I'd be like, they're like, do you want bugs or bear meat? And I
McBear
was
is
like,
back.
I don't know.
Bugs.
They're like, do you want a smashed up patty of 2 million insects or do you want
Yes.
a bear fillet?
You're going to say bear, aren't you?
I'm probably going to say bear. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry too. I think about eating, but like there's all these things where they show it and they're like, oh, it's not bad. It's crispy. It makes me want to gag
Bugs, yeah.
bugs.
every single time. And I want to not have that. I want to be like, yeah, I'm good enough to eat just it's protein. Yeah. Make it not. I'm not though. I think about it. I start thinking about it. I'm like, that's crickets. That's
Yeah.
crickets.
Thinking about it.
Like
That's
you,
crickets crawling around in
So
my
you-
tummy. I know they're not, but
So
that's
you're
what
just
I
gonna-
think.
So you're just going to give up when like meat is unsustainable anymore? and-
I'm going to
and
start
there's
hunting the
only
sweetest
food
meat.
left is and the only food left is bugs.
or people.
Kelly's coming for your babies.
They taste the best, apparently.
That's a joke, national security listeners. I'm
So
not
think
going to
about
eat
this.
people.
Lab-grown meat.
Yeah. I'm cautiously optimistic.
Would you eat it?
Yes.
I'd eat anything as long as it tastes good.
If
Yeah.
it looks like the thing it needs to look like and also tastes like it, then
Yeah.
it should be fine.
I'm cautiously optimistic.
Yeah.
I've heard good
Yeah.
things.
What if everything's made of crab meat going forward?
As long as it doesn't taste like crab meat, I'll be
Okay.
okay. Freddie's stuck on why I don't like crab,
No, I
but I
figured
like
it out.
tuna fish.
She doesn't like the way the ocean tastes.
Well,
She
they
hates
do.
the taste of the ocean.
They are vastly different. I like a tuna steak, but I definitely wait. What was the question? Wait. You don't like what? Crab?
She likes tuna fish.
But you do like tuna fish.
I'll eat a tuna fish sandwich,
Oh yeah, I don't understand.
but I will
this.
not eat crab.
Yeah,
meat.
and that's the fishiest of fishes.
Yeah, never mind. I got it flipped in
That's
my brain.
what kind of throws me. But over the years, I've deduced like fresh seafood that you and me would be like, "Oh, that's good. That doesn't taste like fish at all." Would totally repel her.
That's probably why I don't like olives, because olives taste like that to
Like
me
the brininess.
The briny.
It's too much.
The saltiness.
It's too much.
Interesting. Oh yeah, if you're a patron, again, patreon.com/NOTLP.
What reminded you of that?
Please help us so we can switch from tuna to crab.
Yeah.
Good God. No, I'm kidding. I'll never afford crab. I've
It was
accepted
probably
that.
also because I had tuna fish as a child, like
Yeah.
as a baby. And so therefore it just was part of my life.
I was going to say Topicana's coming.
Yeah.
Kelly, do you know what your question is yet?
Until you squeeze. You don't have to. Remember, low pressure.
No pressure.
There's a low pressure zone.
He looks
coming through
unprepared, but you can think about it.
the Ohio Valley.
You don't have to think super hard.
I don't have a
It's
poker
okay.
face. Unless I'm playing poker. Then I do
Yeah.
okay. But
Yeah.
if it's a real emotion, man, I can't hide it.
Yeah.
And I don't have it. I don't have a question.
So when I look at you and I think Kelly's loathing me right now,
If I'm actually loathing you,
it's
You
what's
know.
happening. Then
you'll
I know.
probably feel
Yeah,
it. Like, and I can't, I'll try to hide it, but that's
Yeah.
the kind of friend I am. I will try
You'll
to
try,
hide it,
but,
but in trying, I'll make it more obvious.
your eyes will dart back and forth a little bit.
They do that already.
Yeah, but they'll do it more so.
Yeah.
And then your skin will redden. A little bit of steam will come out of your ears.
I won't be able to smile. And
You
it'll
turn
look
into like
something's
those
wrong with me.
steam horns, like in the cartoons.
I'll talk through clenched teeth. Everything he says is through clenched teeth.
I'll just say that I'm suffering from Bell's palsy, but you'll know better.
I'll know better. Anything else for the top? Yo.
No.
It's just been a few days of it's been a week of regularness.
Okay, cool.
Like we've just been living our lives and shit.
Groovy, man.
Nothing crazy.
It's so groovy, man.
Yeah, nothing crazy
Boys
at all.
and girls, it's time for straight to video Russian roulette.
I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
I'm here from the Vatican because of my brother's death. I've come to bring transparency to this tragedy.
Before he fell into darkness, he was much loved by everyone.
Fell into darkness. You saw my brother kill himself.
The eyes of God are on us all.
This was the ultimate confessional. The nuns, they stand here, and for every sin committed, they take a step back. The more steps they took,
They fell to their death.
God caught them.
We live a disciplined life here. Contained, cleansed, purified.
Where are my clothes?
Mother says we must first remove the filth from them.
You're a woman of science. What is it you seek?
My brother was badly hurt before he fell. I think he discovered something that he was afraid of.
You need help, child.
search of truth.
I come here when I have dark thoughts. I think I might be a really bad person.
They're all lying.
What is it that you think you know?
Don't be scared. There's but one God.
No.
Oh, sounds like him.
No.
It's not Jeremy Irons.
It's not Jeremy Irons.
Ironically.
That trailer
Ironically
would have you believe that this movie, see, there's a lot of sounds, and you would think that this movie is tense and had tension in it and was like exciting in some way or interesting. I didn't find any of that to be the case, and so begins a non-recommend from me.
Oh,
now listen. All right, if it's a non-recommend if you're like me, but if you're just so creeped out by just sort of Christian imagery, just without any kind of coherent like reason behind why it's creepy. It's just creepy for the sake of churches are creepy, and I get you. I agree. I don't love church. I get why they're creepy. Nuns are creepy. It's all creepy. You can make anything creepy though. But if that's something that you're creeped out by, like the filmmaker, then and you don't need anything else but that kind of churchy atmosphere, well, maybe you like this. I need more than that. And so this movie, Consecration, did not work for me. I'll give you a real quick rundown. I won't spoil it too much, but like it's not a recommend. So Jenna Malone is British in this movie. I can't even exactly explain because it's so
Kelley's so hung up that she's American, but she plays British.
It's so incoherent.
Why is that a thing still?
Well, it might as well be because it's just one more thing that doesn't make sense. So
no, I would get stuck on it too.
It's just like, what? There's like, you're in England. Why would you bring someone from over here to try really hard to sound like they're from over there? We're already there.
You've really, they're not thinking about their carbon footprint because they had to fly her all the way over.
For fuck's sake, man.
What if she's an expat?
I don't care. It was a funny joke.
What if she was already in town because she came to town because she was like, I'm really into bobbies.
What if?
I want to go shove one.
What then, Freddy? I answered your question. What then?
Then you're like, well, can she do an accent? And then when she pushes one down, she's like, Govna. And they're like, welcome aboard.
That was her audition, just saying, Govna.
Govna. And then they're like, come down to Ely Studios.
To be fair to her, she does pretty good. I didn't even realize that she wasn't British till later. But this movie starts off with her brother is a priest at some weird Catholic church, like like one of these weird little convents that do their own kind of thing, and it's in Scotland. And he dies. He falls he falls down cliffs. And he falls and splatters onto cliffs. Or he doesn't really splatter because
this happens a lot in Scotland.
He's dead.
He plops real hard.
And supposedly
the cliffs.
They say there was a demon. The nuns all say this, and then they call his sister, it's Jenna Malone, and she comes there, and everything's weird. And there's a cop, and he's asking questions, and she's like, and she's very like, but she stays there. She doesn't want prayers. There's a priest. Now there's another priest, and
is she like a non-believer, like a lapsed Catholic?
Well, you don't know. You don't fucking know why of it.
You just have to read it all in her eyes.
Till later. And even later when you do kind of know, you're still like, wait, what? I actually tried, after I watched this, I tried to Wikipedia it to see if I could put together in the Wikipedia what was actually happening.
Did it help?
No, because they didn't describe the plot. They described the critical reception. They talked to the fucking director. Like, and so what? One of my main.
They had the same problem.
Yeah.
Where does Wikipedia go when Wikipedia needs to Wikipedia?
I don't know where Wikipedia could go. Maybe Wikipedia needs to hire someone who could translate a movie for Wikipedia. Anyway.
Yeah.
So do I need to donate to Wikipedia or Wikipedia's Wikipedia?
$2.
Do we have a ZipRecruiter code they could use? Just kidding.
So what I kept saying was, I was like, this is just a bunch of random Catholic, like old-timey Catholic creepy imagery. There's like old-timey Vatican books.
Are there upside-down crosses?
There are not, but there are crosses. Oh, so many.
A lot of candles.
Candles, crosses. It's echoey. There's nuns, and they say weird shit. And then the girl and Jenna Malone is
whispering.
Is weird. There's a lot of whispering. There is.
Is there chanting on the score?
There's like
any Latin.
There is Latin,
yeah,
for sure. And
Cheesy poofs. Or was it not on South Park?
I think so.
And they fucking there's like a story about how like when the knights when the Catholics from the Crusades would come back to this church, they would say their sins or whatever in front of this cross on the hill, and you take a step back every time you said one, and then a lot.
You know what would have been real cool in that scene though?
What
is if one of the priests came and goes, "Forgive me, Father, if I have sinned. I have both rocked and rolled this week. I have also fornicated, and I have partaken of the drugs." And then like, meow, and then the nuns come out, and it turns into a musical.
Oh man, that would have been so cool, and I mean that with genuine feeling.
Like the apple was cool.
I would have loved that over what actually happens, whereas they just tell a story about how they wouldn't back out and die over the cliff basically as soon as they got back from the Crusades. And the only person I thought was really doing anything interesting acting wise was Danny Houston, who plays the current priest, and that guy's pretty good. There's all these nuns, and then you're like, why is this lady staying here? Because she seems to hate the nuns, but she stays there, and she's like, my brother was murdered, he didn't kill himself. And they're like, he killed by a demon. And she's like, bah. And it's just this like mystery that involves her and then her parents. You find out her mom was murdered by her dad and she's adopted. And then there's like flashbacks. And you're like,
you
what?
Cosby there for a second. The Rudy.
You don't know. Sorry. It's just too hard not to do it sometimes.
I get it.
So you fucking don't. Maybe you know if you're listening and watch this. Maybe you're like, you dummy. This is clearly what was happening.
So is it a demon?
Well, yes, but no.
Does it get sexy like a Ken Russell
Never,
movie?
never,
No.
never. Just get it out of your head.
Yeah.
Because it's not gonna happen. I don't want your.
They tease it at all?
I don't know.
At any point, does she bite her lower lip when one of the nuns is looking at her?
One of the
bites her lower
nuns says
lip?
a weird thing about meeting a man. How men are dirty. There's this like she says a man. We rubbed our bellies together and made black snakes appear. And you're like, what?
This is why you need sex education in Catholic schools.
Jesus Christ.
And it wasn't I think it was some devil thing.
Yeah.
It's weird. They talked about the devil.
Yummy, yummy, yummy. I have snakes in my tummy.
I don't even know she didn't say from where they appeared.
But they rub from belly.
She and him rubbed belly. But I don't know from whence the snakes came. They could have come from the sky, the ground.
You know, there should be more sex in these religious movies. Like there's always been, and I don't mean like sexy sex. I mean like there was always like that element. They were over like these Catholic movies were always like, oh, this priest can't. He's all messed up because he's trying to crack a nut and no one will let him.
Well, I will say now. Now, normally I would say, I don't know, but he's talking about like the devils or some such.
They're always like, the purity thing, the Catholic guilt about masturbating and all that. It feels like it's part and parcel to the demon stories, and they kind of cut it out now.
For sure they cut it out of this, and I do agree. It would have added a bit of flavor because it's always real. It adds to that creepy, just icky feel to it. And that was lacking in this where they're just like the devil. And I'm like, well, I'm not really disturbed by that. So anyway, it's just a bunch of, so I kept saying it's just a bunch of creepy, just religious imagery. And then there's a quote from the director, and it was on Wikipedia, so you got to take it with a grain of salt. But supposedly he says, like, I'm just really weirded out by like religious imagery in churches and temples every time I go in one. So it's like, I get it. You think it's weird. And I get it. They're weird. Fine. But like, you gotta string it. Just the execution wasn't there. I feel like there was a story buried in there somewhere.
Yeah.
There is a story to it. There for sure is. But like, I just
do you like, you know, some of these guys, they it's like when they're relying on the audience already being tuned in to that vibe, and they're like, that's enough. I'm just gonna give this movie is specifically for this small part. Well, not so small, but a significant part of the population that went to like Catholic school and that has all these preconceived notions and stuff. But like, I want those movies, like The Exorcist connected with me as a non-Catholic person.
There have been a lot of them that have for me. And this one just, and again, there's a story happening, but it's all, and you're like, what? I was at the end, I was like, so wait. Was she this? Was it that?
Whose phone?
I can't wait till I try to write the review for this. That's one of my biggest, like,
just say Kelley danced a little.
Yeah, that's one of my biggest challenges.
Kelley
I don't
danced
need to
in
do
frustration
these,
with the movie.
I always like do little write-ups of the movies we do, and just trying to pick Kelley's mind sometimes is.
How do I write down? Yeah, that's what it is. It's herky jerky. It's a little back and forth. It's a little, flogy and bong.
You just need to make a gif of get the gif of Chris Farley, Fat Man Little Coat from Black Sheep, and be like, Kelley did this sort of dance a little bit, like he was like jigging around.
Yeah,
more gracefully though.
But that said, I did not enjoy this. It felt long. It was dour. It lacked any kind of warmth, and by warmth I mean like there was no gross, there was just nothing, there was no tension, there was no, and I'm not saying it had to be gross, but there's no like everything just felt very like at arm's length to me. Even the fucking few violent parts to me were like I feel very separate from all, like it just feels like it's sort of happening in front, which it is, but like a good movie pulls you into it and makes you feel like you're there, and I'm just watching.
It looks dreary too, like
it's so dreary.
I mean, all you gotta do is say like church in Scotland, and I'm like, oh god.
It'd be creepier if somebody made one of these movies set in one of these creepy churches, but swung the other way where it's that bright pastel, those colors you see in a lot of churches where there's the kids' room that's real bright and everything, is brightly lit and colorful for the parishioners, and it's a very modern looking church, but then throw in all the creepy shit.
Yeah.
Like that televangelist
like
going
a
with a fucking tail. Yeah.
Like the Crystal Cathedral.
Well, that probably wouldn't be a Catholic movie though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could go either way.
Well, I think Catholic and like those just religious imagery kind of are the same thing a little bit.
Some of it, but yeah, but like that's more of a Protestant kind of vibe.
yeah. But I'm thinking like the ones who are trying to like modernize.
I see. I've been in Catholic churches that are just
a little more colorful,
very secular.
What's the Justin Bieber church?
Because and it looks like a castle.
Hillsong.
It looks like a castle. They all look like castles.
Yeah, you think about like Jack. The reason
church wouldn't,
like one of those cool pastors.
The argument against casting Jack Nicholson in The Shining. It's the same thing. It's like you put your movie and replace Jack Nicholson with a castle. Okay, a castle, sinister shit's gonna happen in here.
Yeah.
A modern religious complex with computer systems and a coffee shop and daycare and all that stuff. That's a creepier setting to me to put all this same, maybe the same story in.
Righteous Gemstones before.
Yeah, like Righteous Gem, but like you could still go Catholic. You could still have a chapel, that's traditionally Catholic looking without just fucking drenching it's drenching the movie in ranch. Like,
I agree.
Need ranch, so much ranch.
I agree. This is all ranch. This is all Catholic ranch.
Yeah.
and very little Catholic lettuce, tomatoes, or bacon.
Yep.
So if you're just super into like old timey church, and it takes place now, but it's just if you like that cold churchy and that just gets your rocks off.
Well, you don't even need that imagery because The Exorcist took place in the room, and there was very little like churchy imagery.
Well, exactly, it was very modern.
You just need the storyline as opposed to just having creepy imagery just for the sake of creepy imagery.
Well, also just to make it feel like somewhere I've been.
Yeah,
you know, like that thing I was saying. Like, I've like these movies feel like they're filmed through a portal into a world that is blue and gray. Where
this is so much like that too.
Yeah.
Oh my fucking God. So anyway, I'm not mad at this movie, but like I didn't like it. I'm not.
It's just like a waste of time.
It was for me. I was hoping this afternoon to enjoy the movie. Because I do like Shudder movies oftentimes. But,
it's a great director too.
But this one didn't work for me, dog.
So was it a demon or is it ghosty? What do you think it was?
Well, I will tell you. I will spoil this. Sorry. It is maybe a demon. It's her. It's Jenna Malone.
Yeah.
It's the character who you're following, but she's maybe an angel. I don't know what it is.
Oh, she might be an angel.
No, I don't know. That's no one ever says angel except fallen angel. But like, they think she's a demon, and she definitely. They show in these flashbacks her in a. I don't know what exactly the answer is to this.
Well, I'm thinking about it. If you want a scary,
and you can't spoil it.
Religious horror movie that's more modern. If you haven't seen, I think it's called Saint Maud.
Saint Maud. That's on my list.
That was actually scary. Like it left me
elevated.
shook.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it.
That's on my list.
Pretty scary. We can watch it some night when you really want to be scared.
So anyway, bless you. That is
there's Maud.
That was the miracle. It was always then there's Maud. Mom was always there.
Yeah,
Maud is there.
She was. That's why there was only
dead
one set
forever.
Of tracks in the same.
She's Saint Maud. I'm sorry. Okay. The movie for next week is also from Shudder. Oh, Andy.
Sorry, that snuck out.
I don't even know what that was. I don't need to know.
It's called Unwelcome. He burped. That's all.
It was real wet. It was wet.
I thought
an Andy burp. It was unwelcome.
Did you throw up a little?
No.
Okay.
Oh,
it sounded like a cough to me.
Yeah.
It's like a cough and a burp.
Real wet.
A couple moves to Ireland. Oh, Lord. Here we go. Ireland. But this sounds fun. Only to be warned of ominous goblins who live behind their garden
I love this.
and must be fed daily, or there will be a price to pay.
It's like an 80s movie.
Starring Colm Meaney.
Aww.
How much O'Brien you got?
Miles
O'Brien. It's a Star Trek thing, Andy. You understand.
So you want to spin that wheel? So let's see who's going to be watching.
This is me again. I want to see this. It sounds fun.
Miles O'Brien.
You could just watch it anyway.
No, I have to. The wheel has to tell me to.
Oh, Andy, be careful what you wish for.
Oh.
Vision board.
You are just so good at that lately. So that's your job for next week.
I should go buy lottery tickets. Oh, I want to win.
Yeah, he can't.
That's how it works.
Gotta play.
It's certainly how it works.
All right.
No, you used up all your luck trying to get this movie.
There you go.
Dennis Cole plays a restless veteran who didn't want to fight any more wars. Anthony Franciosa plays a crime lord who loves soft lips, loyalty.
They both deserve something special.
And vengeance. And any enemy of his will suffer more in prison, where his brother savagely rules.
Get up!
Hey, on the outside, you answer to my brother Vic. On the inside, you're gonna answer to me.
John Saxon, in his directorial debut, plays the single-minded army colonel who uses prisoners as pawns with cold calculation.
Let's
subject needs to be somebody in solitary.
Gonna make him stupid like the others?
No. We expect something a little bit more dramatic.
The panic deepens to a primal cellular level. Adrenaline is pumped into the system with a tremendous surge.
Out of control, the frenzied convicts riot, killing the guilty and the innocent.
This pig deserves to die.
How long have they been riding?
All night.
Well, I'll be glad to do whatever I can to help. You guys want to get out of here? Yeah! Well, I'm the guy that can get you out of here alive.
Savage men were seeking new victims. They could strike at any moment.
Behind you!
No guards could hold them when they are overcome with bloodlust. Each step is a journey into terror. Death House, where death lurks in every cell. In every corridor. Around the corner, waiting. Waiting.
They're just outcasts. They're animals. I've given them a sense of purpose.
You're absolutely mad, Boehm.
I'm a soldier.
Death House, a Nick Marino production, is a searing drama of a prison that knows no laws, no humanity. Only the chilling clash of forgotten men against an unknown horror.
You think you're gonna get up and just walk down the hall to the restroom, but zombies are there as well.
So let's talk about this extended episode of Tales from the Dark Side.
Yeah.
Death House. Zombie Death House.
It's a culmination to our pretty rough month.
We chose some interesting options, didn't we?
I mean, we started strong with Tenebrae, but then it just slowly.
Well, I feel like we've watched all the good John Saxon movies in the past.
Yeah.
But then, like Kelley said earlier before the show, he, like all the other movies, he's the best part of this movie.
He's the best part for sure. He's a real actor.
I like the car chase the best, and that was directed by somebody, I guess, who does car chases.
Yeah.
But I'm a sucker for a car chase.
You're a sucker for car chases.
That little bitty car chase?
Yeah, it was a good car chase.
Where the car exploded?
Did it explode at the end? I don't remember.
Oh, I don't remember a car chase. I just remember.
Well, this I'm not surprised you don't remember it because the way the movie's put together is really strange.
I think the budget for this, even though there was one, it had to. I think that was that guy's IROC Z, like that he was using. I think that was his car,
probably
that he had to bring on
he
set.
claimed it for insurance purposes.
Yeah, the guy, our lead, looks like a wrestler that never was.
Oh God, this lead man.
So here's the hair. I need to talk. Yeah,
All
he was
of
just
it.
a
Not just
slab
the
of
hair.
man.
He's a slab.
Dennis Cole.
He's just kind of like a lump of a person.
But he seems nice. What do I know?
Yeah.
It didn't help that I hated the character.
But the character was bland. This movie, man, it was so exciting in the first 15 minutes.
Yeah.
It's burning through story. We're going from here to there. We're meeting new people. It's full of tension and
It
conflict.
was the better part of the movie for sure.
Yeah.
And
it's got 80s titties.
Then the prison part happened and the movie slowed way down.
Once the Death House stuff came in to play.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this: do you think that our main sort of mob guy,
Vic Moretti
is he
Tony Franciosa from Tenebrae? He was the guy from Tenebrae.
Tony Franciosa is the mob boss who loves soft lips.
He loves kissing. Like I feel there is this part right at the beginning when he's making out with the lady and telling her to come back because there's going to be some, and the character kind of goes okay and steps back as if like, all right, I gotta go. But I think maybe that was the actress's real like
whoa
reaction, like because he just was really going for like he really wanted to make out with
like
her.
It was
clearly.
You think it was like real repulsion?
I think she was like,
I did not expect that.
Okay, well, I don't even think. I think it was just like I thought this was just going to be like a normal long screen kiss, but he really wants to keep going. So, okay, that's good. That's good.
I'm a mobster. Have I told you?
That guy just wanted to make out. He was a make-out bandit.
Let me suck that tongue.
It was like when they were kissing in the bathtub.
Bring me that mouth.
He was like, "Bring me that." That's what I was gonna say. That's like,
me that
that's
mouth.
such a gross line.
Especially that mouth.
She went,
Especially
yeah,
coming from
we
him.
did too. We both were like, "Oh,
You read my mind.
What
You brought my mouth.
What's our main dude's name? Not the actor, the character.
Oh, Derek.
Oh my god.
Derek Kelley or
His fucking name
Peeler?
is Derek.
He's the driver for the mobster in the beginning, which
Yeah.
is the best part of the movie.
He's
like,
like, I think he's probably had a hard time after Vietnam, and he's finally getting his life back together. That's what I'm
Here's the
understanding
thing.
here.
I had trouble sympathizing with him when he knowingly slept with the mob boss's wife.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
You knew you were working
I'm
for
not
the mob
defending
boss.
the mob, but at the same
Don't
time,
fuck the mistress of the mob boss.
you know that's a dangerous situation.
well, that's
That's
the
Guma.
impetus of the whole film.
I know, but it's very stupid.
And plus,
Yeah.
like he made other choices that got a lot of people killed too.
well, it was that's a classic setup. That's a classic noir setup."
Yeah.
And this could have been a great PI.
Yeah, and they
setup.
decided to use it only as a backstory.
Yeah, I would have rather watched that movie.
Yes.
Yeah, same.
And seen where that went. Even with these actors.
Or even do 2 acts in that movie, right? So you've spent like your first hour in the mob world and not even doing any of this weird stuff until the 3rd act when he goes to jail in the 3rd act, and then just do it real quickly, like mad fucking everything hits the fan at once.
That is kind of what they do in a way, like because they get you to prison early on, and then nothing really does happen.
That's the problem. They shouldn't have gone to
and
prison.
then what
so
you
soon.
they should cut out that whole, like you said, instead of starting at prison. Take all of that time and do that story, and put him in prison right when the zombies show up, which is like right towards the end.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
He goes to prison because Vic Moretti finds out he's banging his girl. So Vic Moretti kills the girl and frames
It was the
Derek.
it's the most genteel drowning ever. She just kind of let herself be drowned.
Her she just kicks one leg sensuously up and points her toe like a ballet dancer.
I was like, bitch, pull the plug. Water goes down.
None of the female characters in this movie were written for any real talented actresses. The movie does not care.
Oh, I love a scientist
So I
turned
feel
journalist.
okay making fun of them. She was god awful, but interestingly, she was married to somebody interesting.
Journey's keyboardist.
The keyboardist from Journey.
Oh yes, that's a
Kelly's favorite
loose
band.
term of interesting. A loose term. What I just said was that's a loose term of interesting. I can't speak anymore.
You're terming loosely over there.
You're doing great.
Yeah.
We know what you meant.
It's got.
Oh no, you
I
had
got
the
that
virus.
zombie
You
thing.
got the
Yeah.
virus.
got
Your
the
nose
virus
is bleeding.
now.
There was so many scenes of people's nose bleeding.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the first symptom. of
They
the
really wanted you to
disease.
know it
But
so that they could.
It
they
took
could really.
so long to
It
get
did.
to the actual zombie parts.
It did, and they were just all like you got hints of it.
Yeah.
But just very rare hints, and the time it took for them to change was vastly different.
It's an unbalanced
It
movie.
was only the movie pulled punches and like didn't fully like engage in places it should have
But
to
at
be a
the
better movie.
At the same time, it was weirdly mean too.
Yeah, it had both of those things. It
was
you could both
unnecessarily
be
mean.
right
Well, the
depending on
warden-
which movie in this movie
the
you're
warden
talking
did
about.
everything wrong. Like
Yeah.
they gave him no like he was just a complete idiot, and he wasn't
Yeah.
a bad dude either.
He was just not being home enough.
Yeah,
His wife
Yeah,
came
he
to
was
prison
a
to come get
workaholic.
him.
well, he
Workaholic.
opens the door to let in the bad guys. Remember?
Yeah. Yep. And it is very cruel the way the parents are killed.
Yeah, that's
and
like
kids,
that's the mean parts, and like the
True.
the gay
I was thinking of
couple
some
that
other
got
things.
raped for no reason.
Oh my god.
Oh,
yeah.
right.
Oh yeah, and then he murders the brother murders his lover.
Yeah, and that was the the prison characters. Those are kind of interesting.
They were, yeah.
Like the red headband gang.
Yeah, the brother actually was my favorite
And the brother
character.
with
Franco.
Yeah, Franco.
The
or whatever.
mobster's gay brother.
Yeah.
that had the half shirt on, and it was like a genuine love story between him and his
Yeah.
bitch.
Yeah. And it was
And he had some gravitas. Like I
Yeah.
was like he was a scarier kind of like I felt like he had more like
you
than,
could edit
than the
this
brother.
into a better movie.
Yeah.
Just get rid of the main character.
Entirely. Or just keep him because he also I forgot he was the main character for a good chunk of it.
Yeah.
And then suddenly he just is again. Like,
who did you feel the main character was at that point when you switched?
John Saxon.
Okay, you felt like, and that was weird because he's kind of the villain.
He is.
So
he's fully the villain.
It's unconventional. Well, the perspective of him saying like, I'm doing this for a good reason or whatever. But
he was always a villain.
He's a mad scientist character. He's complicated, misunderstood.
But apparently really good friends with a mobster, or like in on it with a mobster.
Yeah.
A mobster that he busted.
Yeah, when he was in the CIA.
Oh, okay. So he's the scientist that had been in the CIA.
None of it makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like the
Well, he was a field agent.
The scientist turned journalist. Everybody has 2 jobs in this movie.
Yes. Then the woman who's the reporter is also had
a lot of late in life career changes.
Was working on the same virus.
What was that joke about the lady, someone who had 2 jobs? They were a sex worker was the punchline. I met a woman with 2 jobs tonight. Ah, shit, forget it. It's a funny joke if you know it. If you know it, tell it to yourself.
So this movie was a mess, but it was so. I meant when I said when it pulled punches, I thought it wasn't as gory as you would think somebody that had worked in.
I think that was
with all these
budgetary concern.
Italian, yeah, but you can just like thin out the blood mixture a little bit and get more out of it. I just felt like he pulled that guy's head off and there was no blood. There was they cut away.
I thought at the end they were gonna do the Day of the Dead, the zombie trope where they pull the guy apart. No, they just dragged him off.
They had that and that scene where. It was a fun scene. Like some guy gets pushed into the bars of the prison.
Yes!
And they open the door. He's still attached.
Still hanging from
He's wedged in there by his head.
But even then, like Amy said, there's very little blood. He's just for a guy who gets his head pushed between bars and gets stuck. There should be like more goo.
Well, nothing really happened. I mean, his face doesn't even really change. It just looks like he got pressed into it real hard and should just have a real bad headache.
It's a lot like what happened with the binoculars in My Mom is a Werewolf.
Yeah, it's exactly like that.
If you go back to that episode.
Just as hilarious.
My expectations were to be expecting more goo and ick and blood just because it looks like and it wants to be like those kinds of movies.
And the nosebleeds, it leads you to believe that it's going to be like a lot gorier.
Yeah. I just guys, I know I sound like some kind of weirdo, but I just wanted more goo.
That head scene, though, it's funny you reacted to that as being not very gory. Where that scene got me because he's really struggling to pull it, and the way they kind of ratchet it out a bit at a time was more disturbing to me than if they put like a bunch of blood in the scene, because you could see him struggling to get the head to pull the head off, and you can kind of feel the vertebrae popping, and I was like, that was pretty well done. To me,
I don't think it was intentional. Probably,
he was probably really just struggling with the prop.
Yeah, it probably was. But it felt like when I had to spatchcock that turkey.
It's like I can't get the head off, you guys.
But then there's a scene where like one of the prisoners slits a guard's throat, and then he slits the throat, and it's just a black void.
Yeah, there was no blood that came out. Like, come on, you couldn't. There wasn't.
Why even show the cut if you're not going to put blood in it? You didn't have to show the cut at all.
You could have a little blood on the. Whoa, Kelley.
That's empty. You think they were going for something different?
Thank you, though.
Like you put it's like on the knife, and then it comes
That's
off.
why, like, John Saxon's a much better actor than director, because there was some. He didn't, like I said about the throat slitting scene. He didn't have to show the cut. That's obviously poorly done.
There's a lot of moments that he didn't have to show.
Yeah. Exactly. That's why he's not a bigger director.
Listen, I everything was lit. I could hear everyone.
It was lit.
It was so dark.
It was dark, but I could hear and see.
You could see
for
what
the
they
most
wanted
part.
you to see.
I got the story. I think I got the beats.
Yeah, it was a movie.
It was a movie, but there were just places where I'm like, oh, okay.
Editing was really the big issue for me. It was
I see you cut a corner here, or this actress was never going to give you a performance, maybe, but maybe a better director could have gotten something.
Feel like throwing those kids in there was unnecessary.
Yeah, I guess they were just trying to raise the stakes a little bit.
Yeah,
I did follow it easier than the Russian roulette movie.
Yeah,
I did.
Well, then you know what? Let's write a letter to him and let him know.
So what was they were testing a drug to make super soldiers, right? Like them super strong.
Yeah, but it made them real dumb too.
And it went wrong, but they were
the previous iterations made them stupid, and then this version.
But what were they taking to make them immune? With that first iteration of those virus?
Yes, because she said they figured out the smallpox vaccine by using the cowpox vaccine, and cowpox is not as dangerous, and that was like one of the first vaccines because the cowpox and the smallpox were kind of the same.
I like that it came as a cherry flavored liquid.
Yeah. I said the same thing. I was like, oh, look at that cherry.
But I did not double check this.
But
science.
you know who realized that breakthrough? The main character who's not a scientist.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, they were asking him for
slab of ham.
This guy just got around
country ham.
He was a slab.
He looked
of
like
ham.
Tim Thomerson if someone hit him with a real big hammer,
or like I know we're not supposed to shame people, but like he looked like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle to me a little bit, like his face,
a middle-aged Mutant Ninja Turtle.
Like like if he was just green and bald.
That's an interesting analogy.
If you think of him like that.
But then put like a blonde wig on him and hit him with a hammer.
Is it because his hair was so round?
No, it's more that his
It was like a
eyes
mullet
and mouth
bowl cut.
took up too much of his face. Like
I just hated his hair.
he had a little bit of face,
He was just big.
and there was like his eyes,
Kelly's the one who's really got issues with his actual
and his
DNA.
mouth, like just took up so much room.
He had big features. You're trying to say.
Save some face for
big
the
face.
rest of us.
But on a small face. Like his head wasn't that big, but like he had it's just so much. He kind of looked anyway. He's fine.
Yeah,
I like him. He's a good dude.
No,
I'm trying to offset like my horrible.
Just say what you're feeling about doing the whole. I said it too, and we'll go to hell together.
He just nice? Maybe like a He-Man figure, like a sculpted plastic figure.
He's Dolph Lundgren.
Yeah, he did have the Prince Valiant haircut.
Yeah, if Dolph Lundgren wasn't,
You know what? And I will include Gerard Depardieu in this. There's just like slabs of men.
They're ideas of men. They have the parts to make a man, but something went wrong.
Someone should have taken a few more drawing classes to get the anatomy quite right. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm telling this to the listeners who are judging me. I don't care. I judge you.
For something that you do. I'm sure there's something. Think about it. That's going to make you crazy now, isn't it?
But, okay, I want to say for a movie in 1987, I felt that depiction of that gay couple was kind of progressive.
It was kind of until the horrible things
loving.
happened.
Because they had like a little setup in their bed and they were sleeping together, and the mobster was doing the guy's hair. It was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Generally, I'm not saying that just to be like, hey, isn't that funny?
It is Pride Month.
Yes, I was generally like touched by that in a way.
It wasn't judgmental. Like you could tell that they were like, these characters are doing something that we understand.
I think you're supposed to be horrified by what happens to them later.
Yeah. I think it's supposed to be, it's not super cut and dry. I think, you're still dealing with a villainous character. The brother's a villain too. The thing is, the only people in this that aren't really kind of villainy are the kids. That might be why they're in there. Because otherwise, like, everybody's got like a fucking like streak of
the
something.
doctor. The doctor reporter.
The lady doctor?
Oh, she helped develop the shit, though.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
No one's clean.
No one's hands are clean.
Everybody was angry in this movie.
Yeah.
It's a very mean movie.
John Saxon was wearing those little round glasses.
Mm-hmm.
Not a great look.
No, I hate those.
Made him look old.
Like wire-rimmed, round, John Lennon-esque.
I want to mention the execution scene, though, was like a standout moment for me.
Mm-hmm.
Where
Adams.
Yeah, where they're electrocuting him. I love him pulling where he's
changing.
pulling the crown off and everything.
He's becoming a thing.
He's becoming a thing.
That
An
was a
undead.
cool moment.
It was one of the cool moments.
Were they weren't really undead. They were just
They were dumb super soldiers.
You could shoot them and they would die. So, I mean, I think,
eventually.
They were just crusty.
So they are not zombies.
Scabby.
It is not a zombie.
It's a
death house.
loosey-goosey zombie.
Yeah.
And you'll notice, listener, watching this, that it looks like they added the word zombie to the title card of the movie.
It does.
Way later. Yeah. Different font. Different yellow.
You think like they wrote this as a regular prison movie and like, I cannot find an ending. And somebody's like, I've got an ending. And it was the zombie stuff. That's all I'm saying.
Could have been Saxon's idea.
It could have been. He
Could have been
like,
one of the Italian guys. It might have been like, I worked with Fulci.
Yeah. Will Saxon worked with all those guys.
Yeah.
So at the
God,
end,
Elsa, we know you get bored when we talk about Italian movies.
So at the end, was John
Snoring
Saxon's
ass
character
dog.
trying to do a heroic thing by going in there with the bombs?
I thought they were trying to give him a redemptive arc in some way. They were presenting him like a Colonel Jessup type, where he's like, "I'm doing all these evil things for the good of America because I'm a patriot." When really he's just a crazy scientist who wants to do horrible experiments, and that's the excuse.
Horrible.
It's always the excuse.
I don't know anything about explosives, but those four shocking, right?
Holy shit! Oh, I thought you were our demo expert.
But he just had like 4 little bombs attached to him, and it went off, and the whole prison exploded.
Yeah,
they
were special prison bombs? It's like, Louisiana makes tea specially blended for iced tea.
Oh, you need that special jug.
Special prison bomb.
Louisiana makes prison bombs specially blended for bombing prisons.
And there was that scene at the end where it exploded and that guy did a flip. That was kind of cool.
I did like the flip. The flip was pretty good.
But I think it looked like he got hurt bad, though.
Well,
he is dead. It was worth it. We watched an episode of Sliders recently where one of the stunt people was killed. An actor.
I was wondering if we can go through episode with that Sliders.
I thought we might. It wasn't me. It's never me.
Rolled a dune buggy, killed him, and then severely injured his passenger. Yeah.
Oh, no.
And they dedicated the episode to
I will
him.
say that the main dude from Death House,
Zombie Death House.
he died after, chronic alcoholism, but also his son had been murdered and it was never solved.
Oh. Another interesting lead from the Beach House, Blood Beach. He had an interesting story too.
He got murdered trying to stop a robbery.
The lead from the Beach House?
No, Blood Beach.
Oh, Blood Beach. Yeah, that's right.
Is John Saxon cursed?
Oh,
maybe
the John Saxon curse.
Again, it's one of my favorite games to play with old movies. Is the IMDb Who Died Weird game? Yeah, it's ghoulish. I get it.
You tend to find some. Yep. So we're gonna wrap this up.
I guess we shall. Death House, not a recommend on my end.
Yeah, I would say
unless you're a completist.
No need to watch that movie.
I would agree, unless you're really into prison movies featuring zombies and John Saxon. If all those 3 things.
And that's your kink?
I mean, I had fun with it. I had more fun with it than I probably should have.
Was it better or worse than My Mom's a Werewolf?
Better, I think.
Oh, I'm going to go in the other direction. If we're just going by what I enjoyed more, I way more enjoyed My Mom as a Werewolf than this movie.
I was just more amused by the super sexiness of My Mom's a Werewolf.
Yeah.
More than anything.
I loved living in the past.
Yeah. I'd probably go My Mom's a Werewolf too.
But Tenebrae, we all agree, was the only real
Tenebrae
movie amongst
was
these.
That wins this round.
Blood Beach was nothing to write home about either. Okay.
Oh, quick tease. Next month, we're doing The Monkey's Paw.
Yep. So if that's what you want, you better not want it.
Yeah, because it'll be
don't wait for
turn
it.
out good.
It's going to be delivered ironically.
We're just going to do this movie 3 times.
All right. At the end of every show, we say hi to our Beelzebubs. Patreon.com/NOTLP if you want to join them.
Do it.
Alise.
I'm on my way home to you. I love you.
Alyssa. Branan and Emily. Jeffel. Iona Goodwin.
Iona great one.
Dr. Brian. Bill's a poppin'. Bill Farner. Frosted Blakes.
Oh.
Blayne Yogurt. Jordache Jeans. Paul. Jeremy, Cassie, and Gamora. Ernie. Dave Siebert.
Maybe.
Monica.
We'll never know.
That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, John Saxon.
What sort of madness?
What's going on? Do we have to vamp?
You guys, sometimes technology
our dear
fails
friend
us.
Jason Fozzie Nelson, his book is now available to you.
Yes, always by my side.
On Amazon.
Someone else you might know did the cover art.
Mr. Kelley Kombrinck.
The voice.
That's not the important part, though. The important part is the story. But just if you needed that extra push.
Jason Fozzie Nelson, always by my side. It's on Amazon. Go now.
Go now.